soil brothers, soil sisters.
Soil family.
Good morning, fam.
Good morning. Today is Sunday morning. I slept the wrong way.
Again?
I mean, I can still feel it in my neck. But it is Sunday morning, and it is a blessing to be here because everybody didn't make it to see today. However, it is a Sunday morning here in hot Savannah, Georgia. If you are catching the replay, first of all, let's share this live out. Hey, my Bobby. First person I see this morning. Wait a minute. What time is it?
Hey, what you doing out this early?
It's 8 a.m. And I see Run Grow, a.k.a. Farmer Q. Good morning.
What's up, Q?
Good morning,
What's
Soil
up, fam?
family. So,
Good to see you, bro.
if you can share the live out, make sure you are following us. Okay, so Facebook said we live. I mean, YouTube said we live. Top of the morning. Good morning, Soil family. So I'm gonna step over here so Bobby can chit chat with y'all while I fix the other side. So again, we were saying today is Sunday. It's sunny and hot here. YouTube is good to go.
So I hope everybody had an amazing week. It's been great. We did some things, but it is a little hot. It's a little hot to be out doing the norm. You know, I've been working in the garden, and I try to do it as early as possible or as late as possible because midday just don't seem to be doing. You know, it's really, really uncomfortable, but we're trying to make it do what it do. I think I'm frozen again over there. I don't know.
No, I see you.
Okay. So what's going on with television?
The TV still wherever. Don't pay that no mind.
Okay. Well, just trying to read these.
You got to read them on your phone. Cause
Of course, guys, if it can go wrong, it will.
no,
And
yeah,
that's what it's doing.
it will, but it's gonna be all right. So you can talk to YouTube. Don't worry about. Don't pay me no attention.
All right, fam. So what we're going to talk about a little bit today is high blood pressure. And we're going to get into that in a minute once we get some more people in the chat. Because it is one of those conversations that is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. So we definitely want to make sure as many people as possible can hear it. And understand that this is not medical advice. It's not, it's our experiences and stuff that we have learned while dealing with these things. It's also from testimonies that we have gotten. So, it definitely can work for you or someone you love. So if you're looking for ammunition and ways the alternative ways to deal with issues, definitely listen up, because there can be some valuable information for you. I can tell you that if I did not know some of the stuff that I know, and it came from being a part of what we are a part of, which is the channel, which when we talk about all things health, I would have not known that there was another way I could have dealt with my diabetes. And I would have had to do the same thing everybody else did, which was go on synthetic meds, which would have just pacified it and in turn put me on more meds. It never would have fixed the issue. So there's some things that you definitely need to do. If you just got high blood pressure after a certain age,
Diabetes is what?
diabetes after a certain age, there's something that's going on in the way you live and that's actually causing that, right? Sometimes you just get to a certain age and things start to happen, but there's so many things that's changing in our foods that's causing these to be a greater issue. All right, so And a lot of people have no clue because they don't tell us, right? So there's a lot of poisons that's being introduced into our foods just so they can look pretty on the shelves, so they can last longer. And some of them is on purpose so that we can be put on some of the meds that they also making money off of. So we have to be cognizant. And as a community, we need to talk. We need to talk to each other and be aware of what's going on in our food system and with our health. How that automatically just started doing?
Well, I had it on there because I was playing with it, was frozen.
Yeah.
So, good morning, Soil Family. I think we have gotten it together.
Oh, so we got
Facebook,
back.
Blacktropicalhomestead, Bobby and Sherry, and YouTube. I think we good. So, we're checking out some things. But again, if you are just joining us, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, follow us, and share this out because this information can help somebody. I know Bobby said we were going to talk about high blood pressure, but
I meant diabetes.
He meant diabetes. And we always feel like it's better to talk about these things live because we get so many questions.
And to Facebook, who didn't hear, we gonna have a chat about diabetes just because a lot of people think that there's no alternative. They have to do synthetic meds and all this to be able to fight high blood pressure. So diabetes, I keep getting them mixed up. The problem is I did have both, and so we did fight both. But what we're talking about today is the diabetes.
Yeah, don't look at the Cayenne over there hanging around. That might be confusing. So again, if you could be so kind to share this live out, we would appreciate that. And like my husband was saying, it's all about a lifestyle change. You know, we think that most of the time they tell us, this is what you'll have to do forever. You'll have to take these meds forever. You got to do this, that, and the third. You got to do this, that, and the third. We have come accustomed to listen to the wrong doctor. We got a doctor that sit high and look low, and he tell us and guide us exactly where we need to go. We just have to learn to listen and believe in him and trust his foods and medicine. A lot of weeds we got growing out there, they ain't just weeds to pull up or cut up or till up or dig up. Those are weeds for us to heal ourselves and each other with. And sometimes we look at things and say, I don't need that. I don't have that issue. But some things can be preventative measures, such as the way we eat. You know, we say, well, I'm not, I'm okay with my weight, or I don't have any type of ailment, so I can eat what I want when I want. We still got to keep in mind that we are constantly poisoning our system when I got the hookups. I must be growing.
The hookup?
We are constantly poisoning our system when we do that. So we got to pay attention to the labels.
So guys, YouTube, give us just a second, because on Facebook, here on Bobby and Sherry, we have grown about 30,000 subscribers in the last week. So we definitely want to introduce ourselves to you all. I am Bobby, and this is my beautiful wife, Sherry. We are Black Tropical Homestead and Bobby and Sherry Lifestyle here on Facebook. We are Black Tropical Homestead on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're also Black Tropical Homestead on Instagram,
TikTok, Threads,
yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh wow, I thought he was a small guy."
Yeah.
He is. I'm big.
Depends on who I stand by. If I'm standing by a midget, I'm pretty big.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, so our channel, y'all have seen my wife doing a whole lot of homemade herbal clips and videos, and that's primarily what we do. We also grow our own food, raise our own food, and we try to live as self-sustainable as possible. All right, and we talk about our journey, with you all, and hopefully, influence the ones that are actually thinking about it to go ahead forth and get going with it. It is an amazing way to live. It's a blessing. It does so much more than just keep your body healthy. It keeps your mind active. It keeps your mind happy. Living the way God intended us to do it is also, it's going to work for you in the long run. So if you don't have that peace in your life, if you don't have that balance in your life, you're missing something. And if you haven't tried raising and growing your own food, then that could be everything.
Yeah, that could be a huge key to your success. Just getting out there. I was never a gardener. I like being outside, but I like being outside on the concrete. We had less bugs and less pests or issues compared to being out in the dirt or in the grass. But now that my husband is the gardener, so I decided to get out there to see what this life was all about, and I'm glad I did, because I found so much peace and joy in gardening and growing. I'd be glad when you pay a bill or two. He's just opening windows like, let me see who out here. But it's definitely a plus to your healing and health when you grow something, be one with the ground and get out there and get to know nature a little bit better. I know some of us are afraid. I'm that person. But I have to speak to that inner me and ask God to help me when I'm out there. Every morning I walk out there and I'm like, please, Lord, don't let me see this thing. Please don't let me see. But I get through it. Ask me how many snakes have I seen so far this year. None. Which is a blessing. So
Yeah,
just get out
she,
there.
She looking.
I be looking and listening. I hear one little noise and I'm like, what was that?
To those of you who don't know our story, no, because I see this comment, neither one of us grew up doing any of this. This was something that, growing is something that I actually found early in life. I lived a stressful life, stressful work, and I needed, a relief from it. So therefore, once I started growing something and I felt the relief from growing it, that's what I leaned on. And when I found my wife, she saw it and she joined in. And it was a chain reaction. We didn't think about none of this. No social media, none of this. It was not a part of our mindset. But it was so amazing when we did actually realize what it was doing. For one, it allowed me and my wife to spend a whole lot more time together without us even realizing we were doing it. Because when you are running a homestead, it requires a team. If you try to do all this by yourself, you will absolutely burn out. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Gardening is amazing, but it does take work, but it's a labor of love. So it don't feel like work. It just feel like you're going about your life and you're doing something productive with your day, and you're satisfied, because once you drop that seed, you see it start to come up as it get bigger and bigger. I mean, all this is satisfaction is coming from the work that you put in. You're seeing the results, and then when you finally get fruit,
it's like, wow.
Yeah, and then when you finally get to eat it, especially if you're growing one of those fruit that you would never get to eat from a grocery store, because these are heirlooms. These are the fruit that's originally put down here, and it tastes so much better. You're gonna be amazed, and it's gonna make you feel like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, I need to do more.
Yeah, and you're gonna do more, but I also caution you, don't do too much, too fast. Learn your craft, learn what you're doing,
so you can love it.
Yeah,
because
if
you do too much, you'll overwhelm yourself and you'll feel like, I can't keep up. So you'll shy away from it. So start slow.
It's natural to want to do so much.
Yeah, because it's a lot.
Just don't, because you want this to be a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want this to be something you did one time and you just let it go, because it is work, guys. Don't let nobody fool you. Don't let people showing you dropping some seeds in a pretty yard and then showing you a pretty garden make you believe that that's all it takes for you to do, because there's a whole lot goes in between. We have a bunch of amazing growers here in the chats now. They can tell you, like, it's not something that just happens. You have to put in that work to get it to go.
Yeah. So we had a viral video last week, which is always funny. The comments are always hilarious. So what we do, sometimes what I do is, on the way to the mailbox, I'm like, oh, let me talk about this plant for a second. The purpose in videos like that are to bring awareness that plants exist and can do this, like the toothache plant. It was basically just to tell y'all that, hey, this is a toothache plant. I don't ask me, I'm country, don't ask me to pronounce the scientific name. I gave you the common, easy name that's actually on most packs of seeds, toothache plants, and it does just that. So you'll see a lot of videos of us popping around talking about different plants we have in the yard. Hopefully Bobby is not talking about bananas. His bananas are huge now. Yes. They are growing like crazy, but these videos are to help y'all realize that, hey, this is real. I can actually heal this or help this with a plant. Something simple.
Yeah, and the way my wife actually is able to put this information out and make people relate to it is amazing. But this absolutely shows you that God put everything here for us. It is here and it's growing, and all we have to do is recognize what it is. So we need the education, right? So a lot of people are saying, why I never heard of this, why I didn't know this, because it's not designed to. Scientists take and find these plants, they realize what they do, then they try to copy the actual way these plants work. That's where you get these synthetics. This is where you get these drugs from in the store. But there's no way you can compete with what God did. You know, you're going to have to put stuff in there that's going to harm the body, yeah, on top of trying to give you those results.
Yeah, because when God made us, he made us in perfect form so that we, as long as we do what we supposed to do by eating and living the way we should live, or as close as we can, because there's room for sin, we are human. But long as we moving in the right direction, the body will heal itself. But once we start feeding the body things it doesn't recognize and not supposed to enter the body, then our body is just like, wait, I don't know what that is. So let me, put this over here in this corner, store it away until later. Mm-hmm. So we have to come back to eating God's food. We are not perfect people by a long shot. We are in the middle of a lifestyle change where we try to make better decisions and live a better life. It's not easy because we've been living the way we've been living for almost 50 years, 50-something years, almost 50 years. But we now see the importance of living a healthier, cleaner life. That look different for everybody. So what we don't do is tell somebody, stop eating meat, or stop eating this, or stop doing that. No. Everything in moderation. Do what's best for you. Listen to your body, but choose better ingredients. We can always go and grab a bag of chips off the shelf, and it's easy. What take time is slowing down and saying, let me look and see what the ingredients are in here and what's going to be better for my family. That's how you heal yourself.
Just understand, guys, they are creating hundreds, if not thousands, of new chemicals every year to put into our foods. Each one of them do something different to our bodies. These same people are also making the medications to combat the problems that they're creating. Mm-hmm. Think about the fact that some of our bodies are more sensitive to certain things. So if they find a chemical that most people can tolerate, not all, most, but it hurts other people tremendously, we're going to go forward with that. And now you having all these medical issues, thinking that it's something wrong, because you've been born a certain way, you know that you just getting sick because everybody else eating the same food and they're not getting sick. That's not how it works, guys. You know, some of our bodies are more sensitive than others to certain things. So me and my wife can eat the same thing. I can absolutely have a problem with the foods, and she can be perfectly fine, you know, as far as having any symptoms. That don't mean it's not the food.
Yeah.
So these chemicals work in each person's body differently.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the store, they don't even have to tell us what the chemicals are.
Hey, Rose.
Matter of fact, we put out a list a while back with the foods from back in the day, the same foods like a Little Debbie. They got a list about 5 ingredients.
Back then.
Now it's a list this long, and it's some stuff that we don't even understand, and that's what all the foods.
Yeah, and when we don't understand like certain words, most of the time we just be like, I don't know what that is. It don't stop us from putting it in the cart.
Nope.
When we look at the ingredients on that Mountain Dew, it's like, I don't know what that is. But you put it in the cart. Why? Because you like Mountain Dew, you want that soda. We got to learn to, let me figure out what that is.
And
let me slow down a little bit.
Even if, the ingredients are not necessarily listed
They not always listed
on the label. And it's allowed, you know, because there are rules that the FDA allows people to do. And if they are within those rules, they can actually do it. But do we know what the rules are? We don't. We have no clue.
Yeah.
And when somebody could tell you that you are ingesting all honey and you're not,
yeah,
you're ingesting a whole bunch of junk and chemicals,
yeah,
then that's absolutely happening in everything.
And that's what's making us sick. The fact that we don't understand, we don't know for sure, and we don't understand. That's why I talk about the enrichment all the time, because I want to enrich my soul. I want to enrich my marriage or my lifestyle. And so when you see the word enrichment on packages, you thinking that got to be a good thing. But when you do the research, it's like, oh, they took the good out, which our body can recognize, and added some synthetics because it's cheaper and they can go a long ways with this and feed a lot of people. My body doesn't recognize the fake stuff, the enrichment process when it comes to products. So they like to fool us and trick us with titles and words and different things, and that's what's making us sick. This is why we got to have these conversations. We got to slow down when we're in the store and say, let me look, and just be curious. When you go in the store, just out of curiosity, say, let me look at the back of this package, and let me take a second and walk down here and see if I can find something similar, but with less ingredients. And all the ingredients, I want to be able to read them and understand. What is that? I don't know what a 3, 4, 5 ABC is. What is that?
Hey, understand, guys, we haven't known this information for a whole long time, but once we started learning it, we dived into it. And we were so amazed, for one, with the simplicity of what it takes to fix an issue. And the fact that it costs so much money, and they put you through so much, and they put your body in more harm while trying to fix those issues. We were mind blown. And guys, there are people out there that know this information, but there are so many, more than not, people who have no clue. And we were one of them until we were. And because we are so amazed, and because we know how big of a difference that it can make in some people's lives, we're like, let's talk about this. For one, let's tell people how amazing it is to go out there and produce your own food, knowing that there's no chemicals being sprayed on it. It's exactly what we see. There's no wax being dipped on them, dipped in wax. There's no chemicals being sprayed on them. They're not genetically modified to take all the flavor and nutrients out of them. They are exactly what they are, and we are getting to eat them. and we get the mental aspect of actually seeing them grow. Guys, so amazing, mind blowing.
That's
Then
what
you see the rest of the stuff.
I love when I hear people say, "Oh, I love the phrase." There are no recalls coming from my garden, or no recalls coming from here. Like every day I'm seeing all these different recalls, tomatoes, and people want tomatoes now. This is warm. This is the season for tomatoes. So most people go to the store and they thinking, "Oh, I'm getting fresh tomatoes because it's tomato season. It's warm outside." No, not necessarily. You know, Facebook. Not necessarily. So when you grow it, you know it. Small local farmers or farmers markets are great places. Sometimes you find these little mom and pop shops that sell fresh veggies. 9 times out of 10, you'll get something fresh from there from somebody's garden because they only got a small quantity of it. But we got to make better decisions because the labels lie. They will tell us anything just to sell us something. And this is where all these ailments start coming into play, such as diabetes.
Yes. So if you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you'll be notified when we release more videos. If you're on Facebook, Bobby and Sherry, Blacktropicalhomestead, Homestead, guys, follow the channel. You know, send us a reaction. It helps us. We appreciate you.
And share this out.
And share it out, guys. So this is one of the reasons why we do what we do. Community is extremely important.
Yes.
Understand that not only are they doing all this stuff to actually affect us with our foods, they're doing everything they can to drive a wedge between us. So they divide everybody up into a whole bunch of sections and putting us against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because without community, without us sharing the information that we know, because somebody definitely was growing up with their Mima, and their Mima was deep into herbs and knowledge, and they know this information too. But who they gonna share it with? Because they don't have that community, or you don't feel like you should listen to that person because, listen, they not like me. You know, listen, there's so many different subsections of people that they try to put against each other, and the reason why is so we don't talk to each other. We don't talk to each other. They got all the power.
Yeah.
So we are telling you information that's out there. We have people comment all the time about how come I did not know this, or the information that you put out there. I tried and it's been life-changing. It's not new information, but it is new information to a lot of people. So therefore, we are making sure that our community is aware of what's going on, and that if something happened, that they can actually do something to help themselves or their families. It is so important, guys. The brainwashing is there and is absolutely working.
Yeah.
And we got to do something to stop this and help each other.
Yeah, we try to keep it simple and break it down in English terms because some people use words or just speak over everybody's head and not think that, well, let me slow it down and just keep it simple. Like, I know myself, I don't like when things get complicated because then I'm like, that's going too much. I don't feel like all that.
It takes away from the information. When you got to sit there and try to figure out what somebody's saying,
what they saying,
it takes away from you listening to what's being said.
Yeah, and most of us have been to the doctor and they come in there and they say stuff and it's like, what is he even talking about? Speak English to me. Mm-hmm. Like, can you break that down? What do you mean when you say this, that, and the third? And they look at you like, well, and they explain it to you. I mean, come on, you know I did not go to med school to know these big words that you just went and Googled and came back in here and told me and gave me this piece of paper. How about we break it down in simple terms and make it simple? And they won't even tell you simple things like what you should really eat. They'll just tell you, oh, leave the salt alone, leave the sugar alone. Okay, there's a better way to do this. I am human. And most people like to eat. Most people like to enjoy their food. But what you telling me is don't eat this, Don't eat that. Stay away from this. Stay away from that. But just tell me what I need to eat at this point, because the list of don't eat is very long. So we try to make it simple and explain it so you can understand it and learn to love life again and not be in pain, not be suffering, not worrying about, and then you feeding this to your kids too. So they'll grow up on that same lifestyle and they'll live a happier, healthier life.
And understand, guys, this information, these ways to combat these problems are simple. Now, understand that everybody don't have access to a growing area, someplace to grow a garden, but the information that you need to actually help combat an issue is pretty simple, guys. I mean, they make it hard because they don't want you doing anything other than what they say. Mm-hmm. But it's not a difficult thing to do. I mean, most of these things is, stop drinking sodas and stop eating potato chips and stuff like that. Because even though a lot of people do it, your body may not be able to take that. And
I always, like when I go in the health food store or even the grocery store, like sodas was big for us one time. I was like, they cheap. So I could get 3 6-packs for $10 or whatever it was, and I was buying them and keeping them in the refrigerator for Bobby all the time. Then I was like, well, we need to back off these sodas some. So I started looking at different sodas. So I would go over to where sodas are sold in a 4-pack in a bottle, or to the health food store and read the ingredients to see what's in these. And then I said one day, well, maybe I should learn how to make sodas, because if we gonna enjoy it, I can control the ingredients this way, because I know labels will lie or they won't tell you certain things. So how can I believe that this is actually what it is? And what is the process to get this soda in this bottle and make it stay good so long? So that's where we learn to make things, everything, from scratch at home, because we can control the ingredients 100%.
So, Talia Davis a baker made an amazing point. Your physicians don't necessarily know what you should do. They are not trained to be able to give you that information. If you actually talk to a doctor and they are aware of this, that's because they went on their own and educated themselves. They don't teach them this in medical school. They teach them how to see a problem and what pills to give you to try to fix it. Which it don't fix anything. It pacifies it, and it eventually makes you dependent on those pharmaceuticals, and then those pharmaceuticals gonna put you on other pharmaceuticals. So just because somebody has a doctor or the end of their name, don't mean that they know all this information. So that means they don't necessarily mean you harm. They giving you the information that they know. It takes for somebody to actually go out here and learn this information on their own. The good thing about a doctor typically is that they can ingest and digest information pretty quickly, because it requires them to be able to study, to pass a whole bunch of tests. That means they can retain a lot of information. Yeah, but they got to go get it first.
They do have a lot of knowledge, but we got to keep in mind that no two people are the same. So most of the time when doctors practice, they practice one field. Like you got a cardiologist, and that's his thing. He doesn't do other things for the most part, but he'll send you to a specialist. But what all doctors do is they see your blood work, or they see your results, your blood pressure, your numbers, whatever they looking at. And what they'll do is they go back up to the nurse's station, or to their office, and they see what Mr. Google Pants is saying. They go to their dictionary or the doctor's website or wherever they go, and they look for information on what to do for this person whose blood sugar is 700 normally, and the lowest they can get it is 300. What should I prescribe them? What should I do? And Mr. Google Pants will help them come back and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put you on this, and we need you to eat that, this, that, and the third, or whatever else. They looking up what to do, and they going to try this to see what it's going to do. But there are always alternatives to what that doctor trying to figure out how to keep you at bay, because they ain't healing you. They just keeping you good so you can function. They ain't healing you. But then there's a doctor that can heal you. We just gotta do the work ourselves. You go to the doctor, see about yourself, but you come home and you do that work for yourself, and you see what God got out here for us, because that's what's gonna heal you.
Right. So to cement that, if you're new and you haven't heard, Dave, how long was you on high blood pressure meds?
25 years. Oh, a little bit over 25 years. I started when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And it just started with headaches. I wasn't a good eater, but that was back in the days too, where food wasn't as terrible as it is. But 25 years I was on high blood pressure and medicine. And when I came off, when my doctor took me off my medicine, I was on 3 different meds, and they were all maxed out. And they were saying, you got to leave the salt alone. You got to leave the salt alone. What are you eating? They were telling me, go to the Mediterranean diet. Look, I don't know what more to do. The only thing now I can do is stop my medicine and do something different and trust God. So that's what turned my life around, was trusting my ultimate doctor and using his med.
And that was not anything that any doctor told her to do. It took us finding the information and using herbs. And within a month after us starting what we did, my wife's blood pressure was normal for the very first time in 20-something years. So I don't know how significant that, some of y'all, y'all think that is, but that is amazing. Because you talking about being dependent on synthetics. These things are not helping your body do anything. Now, we also suggest, even if you're taking herbs to fix your body from whatever's going on, find out the root cause of what's going on and resolve that. We don't want nobody just taking anything.
Yeah, because
find out what's making it bad.
Most of the time we blame, like, I would always blame my dad for my high blood pressure. I would always say, we get that from my daddy. My dad suffered with high blood pressure, and he gave it to all of his kids. But now I realize it. I can't, like, I wish my dad was here so I could apologize to him. My dad passed away 25 years ago of a massive heart attack due to high blood pressure and lifestyle. If we knew now, then what we know now, would he still be here? I don't know, because I know God's plan is much bigger and brighter than mine. But when we learn that it's all in our food, our entire health regimen is all in our food. If we feed ourselves right, if we treat ourselves right, get out here and learn what these plants are, we are healing ourselves in the food. So how can I blame somebody? And myself, because I chose to eat the things that I chose to eat and the lifestyle I chose to live. But I was trying to blame the fact that it's hereditary. I got this from my daddy. And here I am now, all these years later, blood pressure med free, synthetic med free. I am pain free. And all I'm doing is trusting God's medicine.
So guys, I know, because we said this, and it's so amazing that a lot of people are asking, like, how? Because we know we got, 20, 30,000 new followers that they probably never heard this story before. Cayenne peppers. So growing cayenne peppers and taking a certain dose of cayenne pepper every day will normalize your blood pressure, which I know that sounds absolutely crazy, because you have to go to the doctor appointments on a regular, which costs a certain amount of money depending on your insurance. You got to get on these synthetics, and you got to take them all the time. And understand, guys, these synthetics are breaking your body down.
Yeah,
your liver has to play with all the meds that you take. And the more you use it, the weaker it gets, the more you tear up your liver. And then eventually you're going to have to find something to resolve that, because your body is not processing nothing right?
Yeah.
You mess up that, now that's affecting your overall health. So we started growing our own cayenne. We will freeze dry, make powder out of it, take a dose of it every day. We started adding beets to it also, because we found out beets was going to be a part that would help it. But you did it, well, you added beets in towards the end. But I think within that month, she went to the doctor for the very first time.
Oh yeah, I was drinking beet juice.
You was?
Yeah, I was drinking. Yeah, that's what I did. I stopped my medicine one day, but instead of the medicine, I would take cayenne pepper, and I went to Brighter Day and got some beet juice. And it was hard. It was hard because I don't like certain things, and when I don't like something, I just don't like it. But I kept putting in my mind, this is my food and my medicine. So I started taking the beet juice and the cayenne pepper. And I see somebody saying, so two things I want to respond to, because Pamela was saying that she did the cayenne pepper and she got sick. She said she's not saying that the cayenne drink made her sick, but she was taking the water, adding her cayenne and lemon to it. Yeah. She said, but she thinks she needed capsules. And that's the thing, you got to pay attention to yourself, because some people will respond better or can tolerate the capsules better, because we do use vegan capsules. Once you swallow those capsules, your stomach, it'll break down in your stomach and over time. But you have to figure out, do I need 1, 2, or 3 capsules a day? Can I take this on an empty stomach, or do I need to take this with a meal? Because everybody is different. You look at some pills and they tell you, don't take this with food, or you got to drink milk with this, or whatever. What is your body telling you? Because your body will tell you. I know when I take my cayenne capsules, within an hour or so, I need to eat something. I need to put something on my stomach, but you have to figure that out for yourself.
We did start talking about that. We was telling people exactly what we did. And then a lot of people started doing the exact same thing. And we kept getting all these testimonies. My doctor took me off my blood pressure meds. So we know we absolutely put information out there that affected people's lives positively. And if you never heard this before, me and my wife, we are both people of service. So therefore, when we make a difference, it feels good. It feels like we are in our purpose, because this is exactly what we want. We want to make a positive difference in people's lives. So that's been amazing. So we was telling people about it, and people was always asking us, do y'all sell, the cayenne? Do y'all sell the cayenne? And we was like, no, just get some, grow some, make some. But, a lot of people can't, and a lot of people won't. But so we decided we were going to go ahead and start making capsules. And we do sell capsules on our website. For those of you who can't or won't do it on your own and want it,
thank you.
They're on our website at Blacktropicalhomestead.
Thank you for the stars. We appreciate it.
It's a mixture of cayenne and beet powder that we actually make, and we do sell on our website. We want you to get off of those blood pressure. We want you to get off all synthetics if possible. If you can grow one plant, a cayenne plant is an amazing plant. It grows pretty good. It is pretty vigorous. It produces a lot of cayenne. And one plant may do it for a household. May.
Yeah.
So I would grow one, absolutely. But if you can't, and you want to get off of your synthetics, this is the way to do it. Now, cayenne is a food. It is not like a medicine. It is a herb. If you take your cayenne and your body don't need it, it won't use it for that.
Well,
it'll just be a regular food.
Yeah, not that it don't need it, because it will use it. Your body needs it. It'll use it for something. It will definitely make do with it. It won't just store it away like, oh, let me just put this here because I don't need this. It'll use it for whatever. You may be low on energy, so it'll use it for energy. You may be fighting some inflammation or internal bleed or ulcer or something that you don't even know is there. So it will use it for something that's needed. But like you said, it's food compared to it just being medicine.
Yeah, medicine, they have to put all kind of other stuff in those pills so your body can use it in your body. And those things do not hurt your body.
Yeah.
And you know, and you only get a small amount of what you're supposed to be getting, because not all that stuff is available. Whatever they put in those pills are not always available.
Yeah. So
that's the supplements and all, guys.
Cayenne is hot, and that was my issue with cayenne pepper when I found out. Cayenne quickly became my favorite herb, and I don't like hot food at all. Like, I'm not gonna eat hot chips. I don't like buffalo chicken or whatever it's called, hot spicy chicken. I just don't care for hot spicy stuff because I want to enjoy my food. I don't want to be fighting. I don't want to be fighting the heat. So I don't care for hot food, but I've learned to love cayenne. Not only do we just started taking cayenne powder and putting it in a little cup of water and drinking it, but I season our foods with it. When I make taco soup, which I make every week, I put some cayenne in there just because it's a healer and it's so important. But then I make things like salves and poultice or whatever to heal our body. Rub it on a spot. If you have an ache or pain, castor oil and cayenne, that is the most powerful. I mean, that is an awesome homemade remedy for aches and pains. Cayenne pepper. And at first I was like, I don't know how this cayenne gonna do. Then when I got it down, I was like, okay, I got it down. It didn't set me on fire. But what's gonna happen when it get ready to come out? I have never had an issue with cayenne pepper.
So, I understand, guys. When we say hot, you know, there are things that's hot. You know, there are peppers out there that's hot. Cayenne is not one of those. When you will feel a tingle, but it's not gonna have you like your mouth is on fire or you hurting or nothing like that. There's some peppers out there will absolutely set you afire, but cayenne pepper is not one of them. It's pretty mild. Would you know that you actually took some cayenne? You may know it. Some people have no problem with hot food. I am really sensitive to hot food. I got pepper sprayed a couple times, and it lasts me a week whenever somebody pepper sprayed me. Yeah. So, and some people, they will just rinse it off and they be good that day. So, but if I could take those cayenne pills or take that cayenne powder, it's not a problem.
Yeah,
it's not a problem.
It does
Your mind will tell you something totally different.
And that's the issue, is you let it get in your head and it stick there. But, and again, and one thing, like a lot of people say, oh, I can't tolerate this, that, and the third. Sometimes, most of the time, it's not the product itself, it's the process. So that is very important. When people will say, oh, I can't eat eggs, or I can't eat pepper or something, I have some type of reaction. Most of the time, it's the process. If you get it raw straight from the farm or with no chemicals and no funny business with it, 9 times out of 10, you can tolerate that. So when you out buying cayenne, they're going to try to sell you chili pepper anyway. But cayenne, put it in a pot, put it in a 5-gallon bucket and grow your own and harvest those cayenne so you and your family can have them. It's an amazing herb. Definitely do your research in it. There's tons of information about what cayenne can do. My husband used it for high blood pressure or overall health. He used it to stop a bleed when he sliced his finger open. He used it to stop a bleed when he had some tooth removed. I've used it to help with my neuropathy. I had a friend that she used it for her ulcers and has not had any issues in the last few months since she started the cayenne pepper So you be surprised at what Cayenne can do for you. But they want us to feel like I just need to go to the doctor and do this.
So Dolly wanted to know what was your thought on grapefruit?
I think grapefruit are amazing. I know people say that they can't eat grapefruit, especially if they look at Andale. Amen. Can't eat grapefruit if they on blood pressure medicine. Why is that? Well, they tell you to stay away from grapefruit when on blood pressure medicine, which I never knew. I guess somewhere I didn't pay attention because I love pink grapefruit early in the morning. Like, if I took blood pressure medicine, 9 times out of 10 I was going to eat pink grapefruit for breakfast. But they tell you to stay away from it because it can it can mess with your blood pressure medicine. But grapefruit is a natural blood pressure stabilizer. So if they tell you, yeah, you can eat grapefruit and your blood pressure dropping too low, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna tell you stop eating grapefruit because you buying my medicine is paying us. Versus, well, I'm gonna stop the medicine, keep eating the grapefruit. So now you have to pick and choose. Do I want to heal myself naturally or I'm going to use this synthetic? Well, the doctor ain't going to tell you natural because it don't make money.
And if you're a person like me, guys, and you sitting there like, this don't make no sense, you know, why wouldn't this information be readily available? Guys, this is billions of dollars of income coming in for companies. Mm-hmm. They absolutely could spend couple $100 million to suppress information. Make it not a big deal. Let's not let people talk about it so much. Let's keep it off of all these search engines, because we don't want to decrease our income. And the reason why none of these medications are designed to fix an issue is because why would I want you to stop?
Yeah, how am I gonna get paid?
Yeah, why would I want to get rid of a customer?
Yeah. Like,
I want you to be on my stuff for the rest of your life. Yeah. And by the time you die, because of all the stuff we put you on, there are like 500,000 more people that's on it again. So why would I fix it?
Yeah.
You know, because the stuff we're telling you to do is pretty cheap. It works pretty fast.
It's natural.
And it actually will fix your problem. Those are the reasons why we sell the herbs and stuff we sell on our website. These are the most used things. These are the most problems that people have. There are tons and tons of herbs out there that people can use to do tons and tons of things. The things we look for, you know, your hormones. That's what our wild yam does. Everybody has pain. That's what our pain away does.
You may not have pain 24/7,
but you're gonna have pain.
But you're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna twist your ankle. You're gonna sit too long. You're gonna lay wrong, or like this crook in my neck.
Mm-hmm. It is absolutely vital to people who got arthritis and things of that nature. Like you're talking about being able to use your arms and your elbow, all the stuff that you are having these pains in, using an all-natural pain relief that will take the inflammation down, not block a pain receptor in your head so you don't know that you're in pain, will absolutely start working on fixing the problem. Guys, we are not, geniuses, but we were able to find this information out, formulate these things that absolutely work amazing for a lot of people. We found out magnesium was an amazing thing that everybody needs that nobody is getting.
They want to give it to you in pill form most of the time.
Yeah, but it's not doing anything because you got to understand a lot of times you take something through your mouth, it is not bioavailable. You can take a pill that got a bunch that's supposed to be magnesium. It may have some in it, it may not, but your body can't use it. What good is it doing if you're just taking it and pooping it out because your body can't uptake it? Putting it on you the way we do it, you can make your own oil, which is simple to make, which I see that people are now selling. But hey, if you can't make it or don't want to make it, buy it. But I suggest you make it because you know what's in it. But we sell a magnesium body butter, and this stuff is amazing. It will absorb through your skin and give you the magnesium. Now, that's a whole nother conversation. We're not gonna get into why you need magnesium and all that. That'd be another conversation. But all our products, and we don't sell a whole bunch of them because we sell the most significant ones, and we know for a fact that all our stuff works great. You can see the testimonies on the website. You can see them with the people in the chats that, we take real pride in what we do because we believe in making a difference in people's lives, and it is so important. But diabetes. I have a story about diabetes, and since I've told my story, we have spoken to other people, and other people have had similar results, if not better results. I mean, it's crazy. Now, my way ain't gonna necessarily be your way, because if you believe in something totally different, do it how you feel you should do it. I'm gonna give you what I did.
And pay attention to your body. That's the thing. Like, you get information from people, and you get tips and different little tidbits all out of it. Eat the meat and spit out the bone. Take what worked for you, or try what you're willing to try. Make it your own. Adopt some ways. This is how you heal yourself.
Understand, if you listen to us for the first time, we are not that hard nothing. We don't push, a certain way of doing. We talk about how we do and how it makes us feel, and if it resonates with you, go for it. If you have a different way of looking at things and you believe something different, hey, we also good people. We are people who want to be with good people. We want to be talking and dealing with good people. So if that's what you have in common with us, we like to grow. If that's what you got in common with us, we two good looking people. If that's what you got in common with us, hey, we can't all be 100% alike. We can't all be
it would be so boring.
We can't be connected in every aspect.
That would be so boring.
You take a important part of what it is somebody is, and if it resonates with you, you grab that and you bring it in. All right. So I want to share my issue that I have with diabetes. Now, I went all my life, never had an issue with diabetes, guys. And this could be different from you. For you, you may have had diabetes for a very long time. I went to the doctor and they told me your blood sugar is off. It's crazy, right? Now, these are some of the things I noticed prior to being told that. I noticed that my eyesight wasn't as good. I couldn't see writing that well. Now, this was different because I never had that problem before. I never had wore glasses, always was 20/20. All of a sudden, that became an issue. I started losing weight. Now, I'm a bodybuilder. I say that I lift weights. Bodybuilders, I think, on stage, posing and all that stuff there. But I lift weights, and I have been for a long time. I started losing weight, and I wasn't doing anything different. I still was going to the gym, up to 5-6 times a week. I was eating the same way, and I started losing weight. Now, that wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but then it kept on going. So my thought was, I'm getting old. I'm doing everything the same, but my body is just not responding to the gym like it used to. So I eventually went to get a checkup because I have to do that every so often. And
you went in for a physical.
For physical, and they told me that for one, my blood pressure was high, and two, my blood sugar was off.
I was not there, y'all. He was texting me like, "Hey, they said my blood pressure high." I said, "Okay."
Mm-hmm. But see, I wasn't worried about the blood pressure because by that time my wife had got off of her blood pressure meds, and I knew exactly what she did. and I know that's what I'll just do that, no problem. But
Blood
diabetes,
sugar, yeah, when he texted and said, they said my blood sugar is high, and I said, oh, okay. Because in my mind I was thinking, okay, we need to change some things, and that's okay. This is what this warning is saying, which I was kind of getting that warning anyway, but y'all know how men can be sometimes. So when he was saying, okay, this is what they saying, I said, okay. When he came home, first thing he did, what did you do?
I wasn't listening.
When you came home from the doctor?
Oh, I took my Cayenne and beets. You know, I did that. And then we went to the hospital the next day.
The next day, because I said, I was trying to get a doctor's appointment to get more tests to see what is his A1C. Don't just tell me what his blood sugar level is, because I can check that at home. But what is his A1C running, so I will know where we at. So we went to the doctor the next day, and they said, we told him high blood pressure and his blood sugar is high. They checked his blood pressure and they said, well, we can't do nothing about that because it's not high. His blood pressure is not high. So we were like, okay. But
so imagine that, guys. I went to a doctor one day, came home, got on my Cayenne and beets. The next day, blood pressure perfectly fine.
24 hours later.
If you doubt that this stuff works, there's no doubt. None whatsoever.
I don't remember what you ate that night, but I don't think it was nothing no different from what we usually do. So the only thing he did was Cayenne and beef. And then his blood sugar was high. So I started talking to Bobby about Carnivore, because Bobby loved to eat meat. And one thing I didn't want to do was take his entire world of food from him. So let's give him what he liked. Let's give him more of what he liked. That way we can be successful. But I was leaning towards Carnivore. I said, I see a lot of great results with Carnivore. But he was unsure at that time. And then the power went out.
Yep. So when the power went out, guys, it was out for what, 2 weeks?
We were out for like 9 days.
9 days.
But what we did was, I've always done this during a storm. Charcoal is one important thing to have around. Make sure you got that grill to be able to cook outside. Wood, so you can cook outside. The power went out. We did not expect to lose power for a week and a half. And our biggest concern, being that it was 100+ degrees inside the house, we didn't have a generator at the time because we have never been through this. My biggest concern was we were about to lose all this meat. And Bobby decided, well, I'm going to cook a bunch of meat and this is what I'm going to eat. So prior to, we were talking about Carnivore prior to the hurricane coming through. And then it was like God was telling us, yeah, this is it. So Bobby cooked all his meat, and that's all he really ate until we went to Utah.
So that was another change right there, going to Utah. And we met a couple. The channel is Eat Like a Human. And they talked about their experience with having high blood pressure, or diabetes, and what they did to get off of it, which also concrete. I'm gonna tell you guys,
Hey, Amy.
God has always been amazing to me. I pay attention, but sometimes I didn't listen. Every time I have an obstacle in my life, I'm prepared for it. And the way I'm prepared for it is usually painful. You know, it's usually something I go through. But if I never went through that, I wouldn't be prepared for the next obstacle. And this was another one. You know, being the fact that I was diagnosed with blood sugar and high blood pressure. My wife we already talked about this. My wife had already went through figuring out that these herbs will get her off her blood pressure meds. I was prepared for that. A storm came through and took away all our food. So we had no choice but get rid of everything and get started with something new. we went out of town during the time our power was out and we lost all our food. And we met a couple who talked to us about the carnivore diet.
Yeah, I think
So-
that Monday or Sunday evening, I remember cleaning out the deep freezer, the refrigerator, and crying because all this food, like we couldn't figure out what to do with it. The city is in the dark, and all this food is gone bad, and all we can do is trash it. I can remember crying like days prior to getting on the plane, but in my mind I was saying, God got a plan, and I don't really understand it right now. But when we got to Utah, I started understanding it better. When you had the conversation with Dr. Bill.
Mm-hmm. And it, guys, it was the aha moment. And then, even when that happened, we were there with cattle growers, people who actually raise and sell
Their
own cattle. And they talked to us about the best way to purchase meat. Guys, I mean, all this happened like just like this. And we came back, actually on our way back, we ordered a half a cow. So
we were online, headed to the airport while we were still talking about, and Bobby had a million questions like, how should I order this? And how should I do that? And they were telling us what prices should look like, what you should ask for, how the different cuts you can do. Think about things like we get a lot of ground beef because that's what we eat most of. Mm-hmm. We make spaghetti, taco salads, taco soup, whatever, hamburgers. And they were like, you can ask for certain cuts. We had no clue. Nothing. But that was like another sign that...
That's community, guys. That's if we didn't have these conversations or these people, we would not have known where to go. Is this information out there? It is absolutely out there. But if you don't talk to people who actually have the knowledge, then you can't get it.
Like they were even...
That's community, guys. We need that so bad.
They were even offering us, like, come see me so I can give you a cow. Come see me so I can give you some meat. I raise my own cattle, and I wanna help y'all. I wanna give y'all, like, these are friends for lifetime, and not just because they offered to help us in a time of things we lost, but we were like, give us this information, mm-hmm. and we're gonna go home and get a cow locally. Like, you know, they might be 7-8 hours away, some of them way in Washington State, but to have that community there holding our hand and helping us, like, hey, you got any questions, I'm here. Take my phone number down so you can call me, text me, come visit me, so we can walk you through this and show y'all this. It was amazing.
This stuff, guys, to me, you know, depending on where you're from, like, the way this stuff actually feels is crazy. That's one of the reasons why we do what we do. We know there's some amazing people in this world.
Yeah.
The chances of us actually getting to know each other or meet each other is very, very slim. Because everybody's on heightened alert of people trying to take advantage and do bad things to them. And we have the opportunity to have conversations and weed out. Guys, if you're not like us, there's no way you want to listen to anything we got to say because you're looking for the bad people. Let's talk about this side versus that side. You know, the men and the women and the Republicans and the Democrats and, you know, this religion is that religion. I mean, you don't want to hear us coming together. So you're going to just kind of just go on about your business. But when you actually get in a space and people start relating to you being good to good people being good to you, they don't want to hear that. You know, we got to come in here and we got to say all kind of outlandish stuff so we can kind of ignite a fire. And that's the stuff that entertains me. That's the stuff that I like. Because I don't like people being happy by anything. So you're not going to do that. These people, very, very successful people in their lives, you know, it took us doing what we do right now. We had conversations because all we did is talk to them. We had no clue exactly who they were. Not all of them. We had a clue who 2 of them was, I think. But we had no clue. And we did not treat them no different than anybody. You know, we treat them just like we would treat anybody that we decide to talk to. And once the conversation started rolling, and we just continue on. And then these people just started pouring into us, giving us information that we can absolutely use.
Yeah.
What we did, we used that information, we brought it to you.
Yep.
So you can have this information also, because this is what community does. And some people live in places where that kind of stuff happens.
And,
A lot of us don't.
The beauty in it is that's been almost a year ago. So even when we went and visited Ann of all trades, she said, oh, we should have pizza night. When we got there, she said, we should have pizza night. And we were like, okay. She said, unless y'all want steak or whatever. Like, I got a couple cows down there. I got a couple pigs in there. So whatever y'all want to do. She said, as a matter of fact, let me go show y'all. We went down to her freezers, and she opened it, and it was like tons of meat. So it was like, man, these are people that we had no clue who they were. We got to know them on a few day trip, and here we are still friends, and they can remember little things like the way we trying to maneuver in life. So let me help y'all and teach y'all a little bit more. We can go more in depth now, because you at my house.
Yeah.
And I can show you how I raise these cows and how we process these cows and put this meat in the freezer. And I'm going to even give you a taste of it.
There's so much, guys. There's so much out there that you can learn. You just have to be willing. Some people think they know everything, or they want to act like they know everything, and they're not willing to sit back and shut up and listen. I'm absolutely not that person. I want to sit there. I want to learn everything you got. I want to know how your mind works. I want to know who you are. And that requires me to sit there and listen to you. So therefore, it's important. So we came back. We got on carnivore diet.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for 30 days, guys. Now, understand some people don't eat meat. Guys, do what you do. I can't tell you how to be a vegetarian. I never did it. It's not something I can do. It's not something I want to do. But I did a carnivore diet where we ate nothing but good grass-fed meats. Now, this is not meat from the grocery store. This was meat that we ordered. And now, until my meat got here, I ate what I had to eat. But once it got here, we ate only that. A month later, my blood sugar was absolutely perfect, and it's still perfect to the day. I never got off of my carnivore diet because, I do a modified carnivore now. But we do ancient grains, and when I say carnivore, guys, I grow vegetables and I eat them.
Yeah, so you eat
just predominantly meat.
Majority meat now. One time it was all meat, like all he ate was eggs and pretty much ground beef and cheese, along with his healthy fats. But now we added beans and lentils in because we started with the taco soup every day. But lentils are very important. But then it was, well, how do we add wheat products back into our diet now? Because my husband loves cookies and cakes and pies. Is there a way we can incorporate wheat? How much or what kind of wheat or grain can he consume that won't spike his glucose? So he did the research on that, and that's when he found the ancient grain.
Mm-hmm. So, good morning, Monica and Ziggy. After getting my blood pressure, get my blood sugar in check.
True, ain't
deep dives into what's really going on with our foods.
Yeah.
Because for somebody who go to the gym as much as I do and work out as much as I do, and not changing the way I eat, why am I now having these problems? Absolutely something wrong with the foods. They're changing the foods. My body is responding bad to the changes they're making in the food. So do a deep dive, find out all this stuff. So my wife already knew that beans and lentils was going to be something that we can actually incorporate that wasn't going to spike my blood glucose bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to live this way, guys. I have no problem because I found a way to live this way. We don't have problem cooking. We I definitely don't have a problem with eating foods that I like all the time. Some people are like, I need something different all the time. I don't have that problem. If I'm hungry, I want to eat.
Yeah.
And as long as it's something I don't dislike, I want to eat it. So keeping good foods around is vital to me. And so we thought about the wheat. Now, I remember way prior to any of this happening, looking at a documentary. I want to say it was on Amazon somewhere, Prime, whatever. They were talking about our wheats. They was talking about how our wheats became what they are, and that they were hybridized, genetically made, and they found out they are now a health problem to a majority of Americans or the world, because they do not process through our body right. It was this whole thing. I don't know why I was interested in it, because there was nothing going on, but I saw it and I was like, wow. Somebody got a Nobel Peace Prize for this, and it was praised because now there's more wheat all over the world to feed hungry people.
Yeah.
Wheat became cheaper
And making more
and all
money.
that stuff.
The farmers made money.
Mm-hmm. And that dawned on me, and then it was like, let's look into what we can do, because if that wheat is bad, there's got to be some wheat out there that's good. Wheat's been around forever.
That is a God's grain.
Yeah, but who knew? I didn't know. Nobody told me. I had no clue. But then I started doing the research. I looked at some videos. I got online and I started looking up products. And there you go, guys. There's a such thing as an ancient grain, which is the grain that's been around forever. This is the grain that was here before they decided to hybridize it and make that wheat the mainstream wheat. Now, you could say you could get this certain name brand. There's no good wheat no more. You have to be on purpose and get an ancient grain, something like that, to actually be able, for one, to get nutrients.
So when you say no good, you mean like when you go in a grocery store to buy flour, basically. Mm-hmm. You got to be careful in the flour that you buy, because most are enriched, meaning most are hybridized. This modern wheat is what we try to stay away from.
Yep. And a lot of us don't even know that flour should have flavor. That means they got nutrients in it. But the ones that we buy at the store don't have none.
Most people think flour got flavor, but they don't even realize why you seasoning it. So you don't even think about it. You think that I put seasoning in my flour, but you'll say you gotta season your flour to give it some taste. Why do we have to do that? It should have some type of taste to it, right? But it doesn't have any taste to it. Even when making a cake or something, you can use flour, but you gotta add so much to it. Like I was telling somebody, 3 cups of sugar to a pound cake with modern flour. When I make a pound cake with ancient grains, I use about 1.5 cups.
And that's because they got nutrients in it, guys. Nutrients has taste. The flour you buy at the store have absolutely no nutrients. And what it does, your body don't recognize it, therefore it don't work in your body the way it's supposed to. Your body don't process it. The people who are sensitive to it, we talked about some people are sensitive to certain things and other people not. Those are the people that's having glucose issues, or those are the people that
eczema,
asthma,
inflammation, cancer. That's all we feed with this flour.
And people, it's known, guys. This is information that's known, but nobody doing anything about it.
And
because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah, and what most people say is, well, that ancient grain is expensive. So are those cancer treatments, and so is the treatment, going through it. Like, it's heartbreaking seeing people go through these treatments. That's very expensive.
It's very expensive to not be able to function in life.
Yeah.
You aching and you hurting and your body is acting up. All that stuff could simply be fixed by not eating wheat, not eating the flour that's out there.
And not all wheats are created equal. So you can't just go get like ancient grains from anywhere and trust that they are doing the right thing with their wheats, with the process. You need to know, how are you growing these ancient grains? How are you growing this wheat or these grains? How are you growing this? Is this all organic? How can I trust your company? Because that is important. You don't need nobody spraying no fields with these crazy chemicals and glyphosate and messing us up. You need to know how is this being produced. I talk about that all the time when it comes to our salt, Celtic salt versus real salt. You need to know, how is this being done, because my family and I gonna consume this, and I want to know. And most companies will tell you the truth about it. Some of them can't tell you because they don't know. But you want to go somewhere that's going to be able to break it down to you.
When I went out online and I read and I read and I read, and I found a company that said that they grow their ancient grains 100% natural with regenerative gardening, and I didn't see anybody else who said that. I said, this is the company we're going to try. If we're going to try anything, we're going to try this, because I know if I tried somebody else and my body wasn't acting right, it could be what they're putting on their wheat that could be affecting me in a negative way.
Absolutely.
So make sure I'm just getting just the wheat and see if my body actually performs correctly. So we found Grand Teton, and we decided we're going to go with them. They weren't the cheapest, but I love their website. They told us a whole bunch of information, and we went with it. And what we did, once we tried it, mind blowing, guys. You're talking about the best cookies, the best cakes. You know, one thing you will be disappointed in is the fact that they don't grow, the bread don't rise as much as they do.
It doesn't have that extra gluten.
Yeah.
And
so
that's what messes us up, is that gluten.
extra gluten that's in the regular wheat.
Mm-hmm.
But you talking about taste so amazing. Even frying chicken or pork chops or anything in there tastes so amazing.
Yeah, we do the same.
Can't even explain.
We use the ancient grains the same way we use modern flour. All we did was got rid of the modern flour and got ancient grains, and we use it for the same way we would use flour we get from the store.
Mm-hmm. So I did YouTube. I did put a link up there if you want to order through them. That's fine. But guys, I'm telling you, amazing. We did have a conversation with the owner, and his story of why he started doing what he's doing and how it all progressed is simply amazing. They have their own channel, but you can check them out. But he told us he do regenerative growing, and he's a farmer that wants his family to actually eat what they grow.
That's what he
A
started
lot of farmers
with.
don't eat what they grow.
He said he wanted a product that his family could eat and not make themselves sick off of, something they could eat and enjoy. And that's where he started growing ancient grains.
Yeah. So I mean, he actually saw us talking about the stuff that about the channel, about what they do, and he wanted to connect with us, and it was simply because we saw a good product and we just wanted to talk about it. And we want to talk about it because we know the benefit that it can have in so many people's lives. People sit there and put things out there and they don't know that people are actually sick out here. People are actually hurting, and the stuff that you're talking about can hurt them even worse. We talk about products that we believe in, that we think that's going to actually benefit the community and do better.
And we try to break it down so, like,
that you can understand.
With the ancient grains, I always compare it to the wheat. I always compare it to everyday life. Like most people say, when it comes to diabetes, since that's where we at, people say we gotta leave the sugar alone. they look for stuff that's sugar-free. It's sugar-free, but it's sweet. I've never understood that, but okay. They look for things that's sugar-free, or they use sugar alternatives because they think it's the sugar. Nobody ever say, what about your wheat? What about your grains? It's only the sugar that they target. So I always compare it to, let's talk about the glycemic index for a minute and why we chose ancient grains over the everyday modern wheat, or even paying attention to the sugar. We did change our sugars too. We got a whole video coming out about that next week. But sugar, we should consume things that are 55 and lower on the glycemic index when we have issues like diabetes especially. Meaning my husband couldn't just go and indulge on mangoes and bananas and pineapples because they too high on the GI scale. So sugar on the glycemic index, now remember, we supposed to stay at 55 or lower. Sugar is at 59 on the glycemic index chart, meaning sugar can spike the glucose. It's something we got to be careful with. White bread, because most of us ate white bread like Wonder Bread. White bread is 69 on the glycemic index chart, which is higher than sugar, meaning white bread or white flour, white wheat, is worse than sugar on the glycemic index chart. It can spike the glucose higher and worse than sugar. Then there's whole wheat bread, which most people say, I don't eat potatoes, I don't eat rice, I don't eat pasta, but you'll eat a whole wheat pasta. You'll eat brown bread or whole wheat bread. Well, whole wheat is 72 on the glycemic index chart. To me, that meant everything. So rather than target my husband's sugar intake, I was targeting more so the wheat, the breads, the desserts I was making. And I said, oh, that could be it. So if whole wheat is worse than, like 10 times worse than sugar, what are we going to do? So we did change from granulated sugar to raw cane sugar, but we also got rid of that wheat. And we got rid of the wheat first. Tossed out all the wheat, went to an ancient grain and raw cane sugar. So you have to check out that glycemic index chart when you're trying to control your diabetes, because it can drive you crazy. And then you can eat things like guava, berries, blueberries, blackberries, strawberries in moderation. They normally sit, cherries I think sit lower on the glycemic index chart. But you got to be careful in what you're consuming and the process. We have to learn the process of our foods before we consume them or give them to our family.
So Conchita wanted to know, good morning. Wanted to know, did I eat any vegetables fighting my diabetes? And I did not. I ate only meat. And this was, when I say meats, I ate healthy fats and meats. This was to reset my body. I wanted my body to get back to what it's supposed to be. If I would have mixed both the vegetables and the meats, there's a chance that one or the other could have been not working for me.
And how do you know which one
and
is
you don't know
what?
which one. So take the time, go ahead and reset my body with meats only. Now there's a way that you can actually enjoy a carnivore diet without feeling bad, but you got to do the work. You got to understand what it is. You have to have fats, all right, healthy fats. And what that does is take the place of the carbs. You don't want no carbs. You don't want no fruit. You don't want no sugars. You don't want no wheats. You don't want none of that stuff, because all of it reacts in your body the same way. So you want to reset your body by only eating the meats. And you want to eat healthy meats. Generally, within a month or so, your blood sugar will be great. This is one of the things that they won't tell you, but this is what you want to do. You want to get your body reset. And if you don't do that, then it probably won't work the way you want it to. So what you want to do after that, I don't think you put in the other thing.
Well, yeah, somebody was asking.
Oh.
This is spelt, but we use mainly einkorn, but they have different types of grains. You just got to figure out which one you want and prefer. So
what you want to do, guys, once you reset your body, you can start back incorporating things, the right things. Now, we're not telling you to go now and start going buy chips and Oreos, and you're gonna have to, if you having problems like that stuff need to go.
Yeah,
You need to go anyway, but you definitely want that stuff to go.
And I always say everything in moderation, but you can make better choices. But while you're trying to reset your body, leave it alone.
I wouldn't mess with it after that, guys,
I mean,
because
I wouldn't,
now you know your body is not functioning correctly because of that stuff. Why play with it at all? But
yeah, I wouldn't either, but
you won't even crave it after you clear your body. Once your body start getting back to normal, those really sweet cravings of junk food is not there like it was. So make sure you got the right stuff in your body. Healthy fats and proteins will satisfy you. Now, once that's done, look at healthy ways to incorporate vegetables and some fruit, which are berries are amazing. You can eat those.
yeah, in moderation.
In moderation. And then the wheat. You want to make sure you're using something like ancient grain. And now you can live a normal life.
So
You can make cookies, you can make cakes, you can have fruit, and you eating healthy meats, and you eating healthy vegetables. Guys, all that junk in the store that's sitting on them shelves forever are loaded, doused, poured in chemicals and preservatives that our body do not like.
yeah. So
And you have to be careful.
I see somebody asking about sugar. So sugar is sugar. Sugar gonna spike the glucose, even honey. You know, so my husband couldn't even consume honey for a little while because we were trying to reset his body. Those, what are they? Not supplements, but they are the substitute sugars like monk fruit, date sugar, coconut sugar, all those are sugars. They gonna spike your glucose. They are gonna make your blood sugar go up. So when it comes to sugar, you just gotta everything in moderation. We use raw cane sugar and turbinado sugar because it's less processed, but we don't use it as much as that. Let me tell y'all, I was making cakes and pies and cookies 3-4 times a week, and we were consuming a whole lot of white sugar. Even with our sodas, it was white sugar. Now when I make things like I can make 6 dozen cookies, and I might use 3/4 cups of sugar for the whole 6 dozen cookies. I don't think that's bad because I've lessened it so much compared to, and we're gonna only consume these cookies in moderation. At least we should. I just gotta babysit my husband a little bit because he loves cookies.
I love those cookies.
Yeah.
Ancient grain cookies, guys.
They got so much flavor to
One
them.
of the reasons why you don't need as much sugar is because it has nutrients.
Yeah.
Nutrients has taste. Unlike the bland, blank slate flour that you've been using, it has nothing. That means you got to put all the flavor into that flour. You got to put all the sugars and everything that you taste comes from other sources in regular cookies. Ancient grains have flavor, nutrients. So some of the nutrients that you can get, now not to say that you should live off any of this stuff, everything in moderation.
Yeah.
But you are getting something that your body can use, can tolerate.
Yeah.
A lot of people that have glucose issues can eat ancient grains.
Yeah, not have those spikes, those crazy spikes. And but for sugar, you know, you just gotta leave sugar alone. We do grow stevia also. We can take those leaves and either make an extract, or we can just drop a leaf in coffee or tea and it'll sweeten it. It's not like the stevia. I don't like stevia in the store. It leaves a terrible aftertaste. The stevia plant doesn't do that. But when it comes to sugar, it's just sugar. Again, I'm gonna explain the difference in the 3 sugars, because we have a white sugar, we have raw cane sugar, and we have a turbinado sugar. But it's hard in the stores because they put so much sugar. Like when you drink a Pepsi, you drinking like a half a cup of sugar per Pepsi, per serving, versus our homemade soda, we fermenting. So we eating up most of that sugar, but you got a healthy drink there when it comes to, so this is why homemade, and I know a lot of people say, I ain't got time to do it. We got to make time. That's why they killing us, because we ain't got time.
And guys, I want to tell you this and reiterate this, and some people know it, some people don't. When they say something is diet, but it's a dessert or it's a soda or some kind of drink, guys, it's absolutely, it's stupid. If it's sweet, it reacts in your body the same way all sweet stuff do. If it's sweet, it's going to spike your glucose levels, right? And if it spikes your glucose levels, it functions in your body the same exact way. Just because they tell you it's a different kind of sugar, or it's a diet,
or it's sugar-free.
Or it's sugar-free. How is it sugar-free and it's sweet? Regardless, even if it don't have sugar in it and they got some kind of sweetener in it, which is probably just all chemicals, it's spiking your glucose. So it's doing the same thing. It's going to make you fat because when you spike your glucose levels, then your body don't burn fat the way it's supposed to.
It's going to make you sick.
That's going to make you sick, especially because if you're using something that's unnatural, the sweet and stuff, using a whole bunch of chemicals that man-made, that's put together to give you a sweetness, just because you ain't use cane, and you can't technically call it sugar. You're saying it's sugar-free because you can't technically, by the rules, call it sugar. But most sugars ain't nothing but chemicals anyway.
Sugar got so many names, it's ridiculous.
And it's fooling you. It's fooling you. It's a lie. All the stuff, the best thing to do is get the most natural sweetener that you possibly can, which is
as possible.
A cane sugar, less processed. Guys, go on YouTube and look at how sugar made. And it's going to absolutely blow your mind because most of that stuff ain't nothing but chemicals. And you wonder why things are acting up in your body.
Yeah.
You will absolutely see.
Yeah,
and don't look at one video, look at them all.
Don't let them fool you with these labels with that sugar-free or X amount less something.
All that stuff is a lie. All of it, every last bit of it is a lie.
Because
and that's probably worse for you than having sugar in it.
That's what I was really saying. Whatever chemical they're using to make it sugar-free is worse than just eat the sugar. Just get you some sugar. Leave that, like I always talk to my sister-in-law and she'll say, I remember my doctor used to tell me, leave them diet sodas alone. If you want a soda, drink a soda. Don't do diet. Because diet is worse. Like, what are the chemicals in this diet soda to still make it sweet? What is this sugar, zero sugar soda? Just drink a soda and be done with it.
We ain't gonna tell you what it is, but we're gonna tell you what it is not. It's not sugar.
Yeah.
It's something way worse than that, but it's crazy, guys. So, we know that some of this stuff is known by some people, but I guarantee you by most, it is not. And we definitely want to make sure that everybody is aware in our community that, a better way is here. A better way has always been here, but we are not aware, and we want to make everybody aware of what you can do. Don't let nobody, no doctor, nobody tell you that there's no other recourse, because there's always another recourse.
Yep, and don't let nobody go. It ain't that time yet.
So again, guys, if you're new to the channel, we appreciate y'all for joining. This is what we do. We talk about our lifestyle. We talk about things we have learned. We talk about things that should help
and
everybody.
And we're still learning.
Yeah, we're going to always learn, guys. It's a never-ending thing. We're going to never be too proud to say, what we thought was not correct, and this is a new way of looking at things. but we make sure before we talk about anything,
We do our research a lot. My sister-in-law said last night, she texted me something, and I texted her right back. She said, "What are you doing up?" I said, "Oh, I was doing some research." I'm telling you, when I get in that hyper-focused moment and research, I'm on it, and I'm researching some good stuff. So, again, be sure to share this live out. It can help somebody. We'd be surprised. The more people we can reach, the more people we can help. We don't know it all. We are steady learning, and we're going to steady share as we learn. But I got work to do. A couple announcements. Fishing trip. We do have a Black Tropical fishing trip coming up with Hubbard's Marina in St. Petersburg, Florida. I keep forgetting the name of the beach, but it's in St. Petersburg, Florida. You can check out more information. It's a 39-hour fishing trip. You pay for your tickets directly through Hubbard's Marina. We are on the side 11, 12, something like that, side of the boat, anyhow, that is filling up quick. So there are a few seats left, or fishing spots left on our side of the boat where Bobby and I will be fishing from. But we are on the 11th side of the boat. But you can go to hubbardmarina.com to check out or to get tickets for that 39-hour trip. It is July 27th. It's a 2-day trip. We'll be out at sea for 2 days. Make sure you read all of what you can bring, what you should bring, what you shouldn't do, all that good stuff. But we're going to have some fun. And you'll see us putting out information about that this week. We have you was going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, we have a few soursop trees left because people are always looking for soursop. I did not make an announcement yesterday when I updated the thing for soursop, but soursop trees are almost sold out again. But there are a few available. Orders, if you place the order this weekend, most orders went out. I think I shipped orders on Friday, but most orders are going out. If you place the order over the weekend, your order will go out tomorrow, including your soursop trees. Will go out tomorrow also. What are we fishing for? The biggest fish, Amy, let me tell you, I'm gonna wet his crown until he get it together.
I don't know.
The biggest fish.
I can't never get it together. Every time we go out, she beat me. But this is gonna be our first 39-hour fishing trip. We're going out very deep. We catching red snapper, grouper, triggerfish. I mean, some of everything. Tuna.
Let me tell
everything,
you,
guys.
That kingfish is really good. I know Bobby want me to cut them in chunks, so I might cook some today because all I've been eating is fish and cucumber salad. But that kingfish is so good. Even the steaks, I fried the steaks the other day. Ooh, I was like, goodness, I need another one of him. But that one fish give us like 10, 12 meals. But yeah, the biggest fish we can catch. We do want some snapper and grouper. And
yeah, I definitely want snapper and grouper. Grouper is the main.
Grouper is what Bobby wants.
It's the main thing I want deep sea. I love the way grouper fingers, grouper chunks taste fried. So that's gonna be one of my goals. They are such a meaty fish. It's almost like if you ain't never had it, it's almost like a chicken fish combination.
What is that?
It's really dense.
Where we gonna sleep at?
You sleep on the boat.
Yeah,
they got carts.
So the boat is set up, I think it's like a tri-level boat. But anyhow, you fish on the bottom deck, which is normal. But then they have two more they have a double decker, and they have carts or bunks there. So when you purchase your ticket for your fishing trip, they'll ask you, where do you want to fish from? So that's why I'm telling you, like, we are in the 11 range of the boat on that side, because you can fish all around the boat. A lot of spots are already taken. Now, again, we are around 11-ish, so if you come on that side, you'll be on the side with us fishing. But we leave St. Pete at 3 p.m. The boat will head out to sea. It's an 8-hour ride. So we'll ride for 8 hours, and we'll probably have a whole lot of fun in them 8 hours. Nothing in our brain is gonna tell us take a nap, because at midnight we should be out in the Gulf ready to fish. We gonna be some tired suckers.
Yeah, fishing for 20 hours, man.
And then we'll fish for 20 hours, and then we'll head back the next night. We'll start heading back the next night. So we'll fish from like midnight to 10 p.m. Midnight one night to 10 p.m. the next night. And we'll head back. And it's an 8-hour trip coming back. I'm gonna assume we gonna sleep because we old. I don't know how we gonna hang, but we gonna be beat down. And at first I said, well, I'm gonna sleep on a boat and then we can come on back home. But we were like, no, we gonna get a room.
Yeah, we'll get a room to sleep. Then we'll come back home.
Then we'll come back home. So it is an 8-hour trip out to fish. And we'll fish for those 20 hours. And it's an 8-hour trip coming back. So it's 16 hours of travel, but you have space to sleep. And you can bring your own sheets, your own towels, your own blankets, your own pillow. Bring a cooler with your food, drinks, all that good stuff. If you want to bring a game, bring your chargers for your phone, because you want to make sure, you got some battery when you come back 2 days later. But it's an amazing time, and we're going to have fun.
We'll have a ball.
We're going to have a ball.
And we do have, a couple of people that we definitely know are coming that's already signed up. They are hilarious, good people. So that's going to be fun in itself. Coming from Chicago, coming from Maryland. Ooh. I mean, they coming from all over the place. And we're going to enjoy it, guys. This is going to be an amazing trip, and especially being out there with people who hadn't done this before at all, or hadn't done it since they were little kids. A new experience like this is amazing. Yeah. We decided, because we do love going out on fishing trips. This is our first time doing this kind of fishing trip, but we decided let's bring the family with us.
Y'all come along with us.
Yeah, that's what we do, guys. Community for real.
You'd be amazed. You can catch enough fish to last a year at least. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people look at the price and say, whoa, but think about it. You won't have to buy no more fish, and they will clean your fish how you want it. If you just want it, however you want your fish, they will clean it for you when we dock. So we always say leave another hour or so for when we dock. The crew members will clean your fish for you. They also cook on the boat. So I know the last time we went, they had hamburgers and hot dogs and bacon, eggs, and cheese, and all this good stuff. So it's a great trip. But
I think it's the experience for me. I love to catch fish, but if
you do a lot of fishing though.
I mean I love fishing. I fished since I was a kid.
Hey, probably. And
I love being out there. Just the thought that maybe in the next minute, even after a couple hours go by, ain't nothing hit it. It's gonna happen just in a couple of seconds.
That's why it's called fishing.
Yeah.
But you don't have to fish the entire 20 hours. You can say, look, I need a nap. Go lay down. Yeah. Or go sit down and just sit and enjoy, the company. But it's an amazing time. I'm not a huge fisher, but I like going out on the boat and dropping that line.
And I don't know who's gonna be on the boat as far as the people that work on it, but they're hilarious. They have real good personalities.
They do.
They keep you entertained.
You got a good crew. They were wiped out last year by the hurricanes. I was devastated. 2 months after we came home from fishing down there, and then when we saw videos and the entire marina was washed away, the store, everything in the store had been washed out, and it was like, wow, we were just there. But Dylan did his thing and he got it back up and operating. Actually within days they had those docks back up so that they can fish. But they have been working hard at getting that marina back to where it was. And it's just a blessing to be able to support such a good group of people that do amazing things for the community. So check out Herbal Marina. They will be live tonight, and they also give away trips. He always giving certificates for free trips. He do a few for the 39-hour trip. He do all these other 10-hour, 14-hour, whatever. So join Hubbard Marina tonight. It'll be like, I don't know what time, I think 8 o'clock or something, but it's amazing. And we hope to see some of y'all there on the boat.
Yes. Conchita, let me answer this. Healthy fats are all natural butter, animal fats, like real animal fats, olive oils,
tallow and pig fat.
Yeah, these are fats that your body will run off of instead of carbs. Because if you don't get enough fats in your body, you're gonna feel bad because you need them to give you energy. So instead of your body running off of the carbs, which are the bad things that's in our body, it'll be running off of strictly the fats. And if you get enough fats in your body, you will feel good while having your carnivore diet. You know, so that is very, very, very important. Making sure you get enough of that.
Yeah, and that's not what's gonna run your cholesterol up.
Exactly. It don't bother you.
It's the grains.
Yeah. So just make sure you introduce that into the grains. So we do have a mill, so we can buy the grains and we can mill it and make our own flour.
We buy berries.
Yeah, so they do sell it already done. Now, it does have a lot of nutrients in it, but it don't have as much as the stuff
berries
that we have. So as soon as we make flour out of our berries, we use it. So we only mill as much as we're going to use that day. That means it keeps all the freshness and all the nutrients in it. What you're going to get is already milled. So it's going to have less, but tons more than what you will get out of a store. And the good thing about ordering it off of the links that we put in the website is that as soon as you order it, they will package it for you. So they will mill it, bag it, generally the same day that you ordered it and send it off to you. So that's amazing. You can get any of them. So they have all-purpose, which they have, so that's all of them good for frying, I think. Which one we didn't use for frying?
Well, I only use einkorn.
So einkorn is what we generally use, but they have all-purpose. You can use that. I'm sure you can use the spelt. We haven't tried it yet, but all of it is just flour. They have different things, different flour, different grains that's better for different things, but we still working on all of them to see what's best for what. I love them all, especially in desserts. They are crazy good, but if you're going to fry with them, I think any one of them will work good for frying.
I think so too.
Yeah, so just, you don't necessarily have to get the spelt, because I see when you said that one was out of stock.
Yeah, you can. We use mainly einkorn.
And if you don't have a grinder, if you don't have a way to mill your berries, make sure you go ahead and get the flour.
The flour already milled. You're still getting a bit of nutrients. It's just not as much as milled. But then you don't have to worry about milling it.
Yeah. And I think, if you can get a mill, definitely get a mill.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll put a link to where we get our mill from. I don't know if you got that over there.
So many different ancient grains. You just got to see just read up on them and see what it's for or what they suggest you use it for. But they are great.
So, you put Nutri-Mills in it?
I have nuts.
But yeah, I put, this is the meal that we got. This is amazing meal. I say, make the lifestyle change. If you're gonna make the lifestyle change, buy a meal.
Yeah.
Because this is not something that you're gonna just do one time and then, because I'm gonna tell you, once you actually use ancient grain and you taste the difference in the flavor, you're not gonna go back anyway. It is more expensive, but it tastes way better and it's way better for you. There's some people that have to be so careful that they don't, have no kind of wheat into their diets, and it's only because that wheat that we typically eat is bad. Like, it don't work in our body. and it works worse in some people's bodies. Like we talked about in the beginning, some people are more sensitive to certain things. And just because we can eat the bread and all the wheat, and we're not sick and having all these major issues
today.
that don't mean that you're not having those problems. Your symptoms are outwardly showing itself while people's bodies are decreasing in the ability to be used correctly. So just change it if you can, guys. You know, the information is there. You go, anything that we said, go and do your research, look into it. Understand that a lot of this stuff is not pushed because there's a lot of money stopping it from being pushed. But do enough research to where you understand exactly why people are doing what they're doing, why the information is what it is. Understand that there's so much money being put into misleading you and guiding you into a bad space. Some people are sitting around feeling horrible, can't move, can't walk around, can't do nothing. Their life is absolutely not enjoyable. And it's because of this information that's not being put out there. We recommend that everybody do your due diligence so you can be better, healthier, you know, live a more enjoyable life. Until the day that you go home, you should be living here the best you possibly can.
That's all we trying to do. We cannot prolong life or any of that. That's already written, but we can live a better quality, healthier life while we are here. That is so true. So, all right, y'all. Huh?
I said, all right, guys.
So,
Till the next time.
don't let nobody steal your joy.
Like, share, subscribe, guys. Follow the channel. We appreciate you. Love you.
Now you go lay down. You're like, oh, I was just looking out the window. It's hot out them doors.